Scorpios, welcome in. This is your yearly forecast for the year of 2026. So we're going to look ahead and get some information and guidance for you all that can best help you navigate the year. Just as a reminder, just if you're new or, I've brought it up a few times, but just want to talk a little bit about expectations around tarot. It is a tool, a spiritual tool, an energy tool to help you navigate this external world in a way that you have a higher awareness so that you can be more in control of how you respond, help you in deciding any sort of direction you want to go in your life. And also, hey, do I need to make some changes? Because really what's happening is that I'm intuitively, but also the cards are tapping into your energy or the collective energy at this moment in time. So it's based on where you are right now in life. But the thing is, anything and everything could change, right? In an hour. It could change tomorrow, in a week. And you have the free will and the control to shift and change your direction in life, how you respond to things, your outward actions. So again, it's to help you find some awareness. But if there's something that you don't like, or that I'm tapping into something in your energy right now that you want to change, you have the control to change it. For example, let's say I'm picking up on at this now moment based on where you've been and where you're at right now. I could pick up on some potential health issues coming. But again, you can change your emotional body. You can work and integrate and heal. You can change your lifestyle, how you're showing up in the world, what you're eating, and change that outcome. Okay, so this is not about telling the future and you are just, at the mercy of fate and you have no control. You definitely do. But remember, you only have control of you and how you show up in the world, and how you behave and how your emotional body is working. We don't have control to control the external world or people outside of us. And that's where this can be helpful to give you some awareness. All right. So before we dig into the reading, I did just want to call out a few astrological things. I'm going to try and do it fairly quickly. These readings have gotten long, but I guess I've noticed a lot of people's yearly forecasts tend to be longer because there's a lot to hit. But I wanted to just go over all the big, so there's a few outer planets that are all changing their signs for good in 2026. They kind of moved in and out of their current sign into the new sign in 2025. So you can look back at when that sign had been. Like, for example, Neptune is in Pisces, and it's been in Pisces since 2011. It is moving into Aries on January 26th, but it did move into Aries for a little bit this year. And you can go back and take a look at when that was and see what was going on in your life, because that's going to give you a little taste of what's to come once Neptune finally moves into Aries next year. That's the same for all planets. It gives us a little taste. It hops in and out a little bit towards the end of the degrees until it finally moves into 0 degrees of the new sign. And all of these outer planets stay in their signs for a long period of time. Like I said, Neptune has been since 2011. So another thing you can look at is when we're finally at the late degrees of a planet in a sign, do a little review of, okay, when did it move into that sign and what's happened in my life? You can also take a look at your birth chart to see what area of your life, what house that impacted for you. And you'll notice that that house and what it rules definitely was a forefront of maybe major lessons you've learned, major changes, impacts, lessons. So take a look at that. So we talked about Neptune. We have Saturn entering Aries on February 14th. So Saturn's been in Pisces. So both Neptune and Saturn are moving into Aries, which are fire signs. Uranus is moving into Gemini on April 25th. Uranus has been in Taurus. And then Jupiter will enter Leo on June 30th. So that's the last one. So basically the first 6 months of the year are going to be really big. That's going to, like, to me, it's kind of like the energy of like paving the road. It's like digging the road out. Okay, so we're digging the new path. We're starting a new direction. Like, we've been on the paved path and we're like, we want to go in a completely new direction here. And that brings us to another big aspect that I want to focus on. And I'm actually going to pull some cards specifically for you Scorpios to see how this is going to impact you. But this is the Neptune-Saturn conjunction at 0 degrees Aries. This is happening February 20th. So earlier on in the year, and this is a big, big one. This hasn't happened in some thousands of years. So we really, for one, we don't even have anything to compare it to in our lifetimes, or for the most part, historically. I mean, maybe if you dig, there's probably something that they know a little bit about what happened in that time. But this signifies a complete and utter restart, reset. Okay, so this is like starting new, completely new. So how this is going to show up is going to be quite interesting, especially for the collective. But just as a trend, all of the readings, basically, I think except Cancer, I just did Cancer. And Cancer, now that I think about it, didn't have any aces in that reading, but I want to say almost everybody else had aces, which signify, again, a new beginning, something new. So Saturn is the planet of karma, and it is really about, Saturn is about creating a strong, solid foundation, and building upon it in a way that the structure is going to be solid for a long future here. So Saturn's coming in is going to collapse anything that has been built on shaky foundations, anything that doesn't align with the highest and best good of all of us, or us as individuals. So this is going to collapse institutions, organizations, governments, even within our personal life. So relationships, jobs, anything that just, again, was not built on a strong foundation, anything karmic. It's time for us to learn the lesson and to make some big decisions about the direction we want to go. Most of it's going to be moving away from anything that doesn't serve us anymore. And it's time to grow and expand. Neptune, on the other hand, is really going to shine the light on anything that's under the surface. So anything hidden, anything that's lying to us, anything that's creating distortion in the world, anyone lying, all of that stuff is going to come out for us to see and, again, dissolve any sort of distortion or illusions. It's time to get back to truth. So I'm going to hit that one first and pull some cards to see how this is going to impact Scorpios, okay? And this, again, is February 20th. As we get started here, if anyone's interested in a personal reading with me, you can go book on my website, which is linked below in the description. Also, I do have an extended for this, so definitely at the end of this, join me in the extended. The link is below in the description as well. In the extended, I'm going to go dive deeper into 2026 and look into your partnerships, romance, love, and then also work and career. And then at the end, I'm going to just pull a couple overall outcome cards for that. So that'll be fun. All right, look at this. First thing out, Sun. 5 of Pentacles. 8 of Swords. Queen of Wands. And then I'm just going to clarify here. We got the Queen of Pentacles, the Three of Swords, the Knight of Swords, and the Knight of Cups. Okay, so Scorpios, you did not get any aces, which is interesting, but that's okay. You did get the Sun card. So when the Sun card comes out, it does create a whole positive vibe to the whole reading here. So I do feel like there's definitely these alignments. So what's interesting on this deck, you see the planets, you see the sun, and you see the zodiac here. And I heard kind of there's an alignment happening. And I do feel, again, it's calling out this conjunction here. But what this is doing is bringing some alignment. You're aligning to things, to something or multiple things in your life that is going to bring you a lot of happiness and fulfillment. And I feel like you've been working on trying to align with these things for some time here. And you're finally, this conjunction is going to bring in this alignment. Because I feel like Scorpios, you guys, you know, you are water signs. You're also the sign of, you know, you represent the death card and transformation. And I feel like you are kind of paving the way of this whole like collapse and dissolution of things that don't work. Like you've been diving deep. I feel like you are kind of the sign leading the charge with this. And so I feel like you've already been going through it. So I feel like once this is happening, I feel like you've already, even before that, are starting your aces. You're already starting a new path. And this, with the Queen of Pentacles here, this is about really solidifying this in your life, in the physical world. So you are really grounding into some new reality that is, again, that's aligning with who you are now. I think it's expanding your frequency here. There's the peacock here. There's something about a beautiful life that I'm getting. And you're really creating this now, and it's starting to manifest in the physical. Because look at this, 5 of Pentacles, 3 of Swords, and 8 of Swords. So there's been some sort of triangle here that's created a lot. This has caused a lot of anger and potentially resentment for you guys. And you've really been going through it with either a situation or person here. But this has definitely been a really difficult period, I feel like, especially 2025 for you. And there's been some financial constraints for a lot of you. I also feel like in relationships, it's just been really, I just feel overall your life has been one where you're just like, it's like a feeling of like, I don't like where I'm at in my life. I don't like my job. My relationships have been not fulfilling for me. They've been cold. Maybe there's none at all. And you've just felt stuck in this for some time. There's been a stuck energy. This could have been, you know, especially with that Neptune and Pisces energy, even though Neptune rules Pisces, that Neptune energy, especially with water signs, can create a lot of emotional turmoil and a lot of distortion in our reality. So there's been a lot of, especially since 2011, of feeling like you come across things or things come in your life where you're like, no, this is it, right? Like this could be my soulmate. And it ended up like in the beginning seemed like this dream. And then all of a sudden the truth of it came out and you realized it was kind of an illusion. Maybe this person had a mask and kind of created this fantasy that was like your dream, and then they couldn't keep it up, you know, something like that. But you've been really stuck in something, and even in this card, she's blindfolded. She's got chains around her arms. So you felt really tied, enslaved to some situations in your life, and you're like, okay, I need to get out of this. But look at where you're going here. If you notice here too, the Knight of Swords is looking towards the past. So it's the past and the things that have happened that have built up that has created some resentment. And so he's like facing the past and he's more battling the past, right? And there's an eagle in this card, and the eagle represents freedom. So during this process, you are freeing yourself, you're liberating yourself. And sometimes we do have to, that anger is the one thing that actually is fueling us for actually motivating us to make the change. And I feel like you are freeing yourself from this Eight of Swords. And now here what's coming in with this conjunction here is love. So for those of you, this could be a transformation of a relationship. But I feel like for a lot of you, this is new love coming in, because with this heartache, something, you know, of course, could really lean towards relationships have been very, a lot of heartache. But now this Knight of Cups is looking at the future now. And it's about looking forward and leaving the past behind and cutting the ties to the past. And now we can move forward with the sun shining on us. And also the Queen of Wands, I feel like this is more you, but you are really blossoming in your confidence, in your ability now to align, because the Queen of Wands is aligned with her passions. She's aligned with the things, and she's actually created abundance in her life, and she's living it. And the Queen of Wands is very attractive. So I feel like you're attracting this love connection here, and it's going to be one that's in alignment with you now, where in the past, maybe there was a lot of misalignments with the people that you would attract. So Scorpios, this is, again, this is what's coming up for that conjunction in February. Let me just get one more for this Knight of Cups, Queen of Wands. Yeah, Chariot, look at that. This Knight is actually pulling you forward on the Chariot, and this energy is really fueling you. There's going to be a lot of forward momentum, especially in February. Okay? So that is for that specific conjunction. Let's dive into just general for the year here. We got a lot of flyers here. Well, I'm going to start with some oracle cards and just get some overall trends here. So first we got rest and rejuvenation. Cancer's got that as well, and pleasure. So this is a year about following your bliss, Scorpio. This is a year of just following your heart, doing things that bring you pleasure and joy. It's a year of rest, and rejuvenation is a priority. This isn't a year of hard work. This is about aligning in this state, because when you're aligned, that's when things come to you easily. Okay, that's where you get the inspiration to act when you need to, right? That's aligned action. And when you're in aligned action, you definitely don't need to put out a lot of effort to bring in and to create for one, and to bring in results from that, or success. And when you're doing something that you love, or that you're just here to do, again, it's easy, right? It's not hard. All right, then we have attachment and miracles. So this is really this lingering energy from your past. And I feel like your whole entire life has been some karmic templates tied to codependencies and attachment issues, especially this is around relationships. And you've attached your things, or you've come together with karmic individuals and experiences for a reason. I feel like for a lot of you, it was to break through certain karmic templates. A lot has been coming up in my channeling, in my just intuitive getting information around these karmic templates. So there's almost like a library of templates. And, you know, it can be to come in and deal with poverty. It can be to deal with wealth. And it's not like one is better than the other, Because again, you could say, well, obviously wealth isn't karmic, but hey, signing up with that karmic template of wealth can bring a whole lot of problems with it. So you can look back historically at a lot of, wealthy families or people and see that their life was definitely a lot of chaos and conflict. But this finally is like, you're finally getting some miracles where you're finally closing this chapter out. You're cutting the attachment, energetic ties. And this is a year of miracles for you. I feel like there's going to be a lot of things that just happen all of a sudden in very surprising, miraculous ways for you. And I'm just loving this energy for you guys. Loving it. All right, let's go to the tarot here. Okay, so we have the devil out. So there's the karma. This can also be some fears of what 2026 is going to bring. The Knight of Swords again, and the Three of Swords. I did shuffle here. So this, again, this was something that to me was being spotlighted in February as something that you're overcoming. But in general, I feel like this Three of Wands too. So this is about expansion for one. And I feel like you're expanding from a heart space. So there's karmic things from the past that have really caused your heart to kind of close down. And I feel like almost like you go through these periods where you do all this healing and this integration, which opens your heart again. But then it's like this karmic, again, these karmic things just keep coming back, and it's a pattern. And then they come back and they close your heart down again, or they cause heartache. And it's just this like open and close thing I'm feeling for you guys. And again, a lot of anger. I feel like you're hitting a point of you're just pissed. And you're just like, I'm done with this karmic BS here. And this knight is going to battle with the devil. And he is not afraid anymore. He's like, hey, I am not going to succumb any longer to distortion, to deception, to like thinking people are, great for me and they end up being, again, it could be trauma bonding, whatever it is. And this knight is protecting its heart now. And so there is some lessons I feel like you've learned. And you're like, I'm protecting myself now. I'm being more discerning here. But ultimately here, you're expanding. And I feel like that's in the heart space. So I feel like if you still feel like you're closed off because of something that happened recently, or just multiple things where you're at a point you just still feel closed, I feel like you're going to expand and open up. And you're now open to allowing something new to come in. And it's only when we're open in that surrender state of allowing that thing is going to come in. And I feel like the Three of Wands also represents like your ship coming in, bringing in the treasures that your heart truly wants. And I feel like that's what's happening in 2026 for you. Finally, you're going to receive something that is truly in alignment, that is going to be long lasting for you. And that could come in very, again, miraculously. And I feel like these three cards are talking about that attachment. So let's get some more information. Another row. We have the Empress, the World, Nine of Pentacles. Well, this is good. We're shifting here. And the King of Swords. So to me, this karmic stuff, a lot of you have a lot of mother wounding here. So mom issues, mother wounding. There's definitely coming from the maternal side here. But this is ending, right? This is a completion of a cycle. So we're completing this karmic template of some sort of mother wounding, or really some sort of attachment issues from a maternal nurturing side. So that could be for men and women. But like we're ending the cycle here, especially the cycle where it's like you feel like you always have to be ready to battle life. Like you're always feeling like you have to battle these karmic things, these situations, and you want to free yourself now. And this card too, they both have eagles here. So Scorpios, there's some sort of symbolic, the eagle is your symbol for this year, and it's coming up. And what's interesting, birds came up a lot for the Cancer reading. So if you have any Cancer in your chart, I would definitely, or connected with a Cancer, I would definitely watch that one as well. So this is your year to free yourself from these karmic attachments. And you're going from closed heart to a lot of heartache. And this Nine of Pentacles is about you finally in alignment. And once you are in alignment, this is where you're creating abundance in your life. And it's coming from you. Like you're just, this is the best way to create abundance, is just because you're in alignment, right? And there's also the bird here, which represents getting messages from source or your higher self or your guides. So again, ask your guides, you know, when you need it. But also I feel like you're going to get a lot of incoming information from a higher divine perspective that's going to help you navigate to align with those things that are going to really, this is about you becoming who you always were meant to. And that's for everybody, but especially for you guys. That's really coming up. And this card has come up a lot, the Nine of Pentacles. So that is on par with the year. The Three of Wands, again, King of Swords. So this could be somebody that you're manifesting here. It could be an air sign, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. What else? We have Libra also, and Taurus. We have Capricorn. So you could be manifesting someone with those zodiac signs. But let's get a little bit more of this King of Swords. Let's talk to him. Eight of Pentacles, the Emperor, and the Temperance card. So this person, wow, King of Pentacles. So we have a trifecta here of huge, strong masculine power here. The one thing that's missing is the cups. You haven't gotten any cups here, but if you see in the Temperance card, this, to me, it's like a deity or divine being is holding two different cups. And what this represents is alchemy, is divine alchemy. So I feel like the divine is helping to add the cups to this, which is more the emotional part, the heart space energy. And because there needs some emotions to kind of balance these three out. Because you have the Emperor at the top. He's the highest octave of masculine energy in the tarot, representing the divine masculine. And then you have the King of Pentacles and King of Swords. So this, to me, is a trifecta of someone who's really they've kind of built their castle. They've built, their empire. And this person is good on paper. So they have a good life. They've set up a good life on their own already. So definitely this isn't someone, maybe you've had a trend in the past of attracting works in progress, or guys that haven't got their life together yet. They're still working on it. And then you have a king who knows, he has complete clarity of who he is, of where he's going, what he wants, which I like that. Because I think Scorpio is like, you get so deep that I feel like you need some grounding energy. And definitely these three kings definitely do provide grounding. And then there's Eight of Pentacles here. So for some of you, this could come through work. I feel like attracting some relationship. This is definitely going to be passionate. They're definitely going to chase you. They're definitely chasing you. There's a lot of passion here. This person does have a lot of passion. That's how they've built their life. But he's coming in hot. This person is coming in hot. And potentially, I think this isn't for everyone, but for very few, there could be two people here that you could have options here. But that's for you to navigate. The cards isn't telling us who's better, but that's something just bringing up that maybe there's multiple options here. And that's where you have to use your alignment, your intuition and heart guidance to understand who and what you want. Let's get one more for the 8 of Pentacles, 10 of Pentacles. So there's definitely something coming up about wealth or money here with this person. But this is kind of like the treasure again. So you have the ship on the 3 of Wands bringing in treasures. That's kind of what the ship indicates. And treasures, right, are going to be what you desire, what your dream is, what you consider treasure. So this is like a treasure coming in. This is like, I'm also hearing like a finding of the buried treasure. And that's what this person is kind of going to represent for you. Let's just, one more for the 3 of Swords, 9 of Pentacles, Queen of Swords. Yeah, you're getting really clear this year. If you feel like 2025 was a hot mess or a fog or just confusing all around, you didn't know if you were coming or going, you didn't know what the future held, there was a lot of ifs, question marks. Clarity is here. And you have the Ace of Pentacles. So major year of opportunities opening up. I feel like there's a real big door opening up for you that you're going to cross through. That's really going to be a whole new path for you in some area of your life. Especially could be with relationships or love. But you have the Queen and King of Swords. So there is a definitely meeting of the minds here. Those two I wouldn't say are the most like loving romantic love. But they definitely are on the same page and they have the same values. And I'm not saying there's not love here, but I definitely feel like it's going to be new for you, that finally someone who aligns with my values, aligns with what our futures, like we have the same vision for our lives, and we have the same goals and we want to go in the same direction together and build, right? We want to build this or integrate together. And that's going to be the big opportunity for you. And this just flew out, the 10 of Wands. So I also feel like there's 2 cards here about a completion of a cycle. So you definitely are closing out some sort of karmic period of your life. I definitely feel like the 10 of Wands can also be a card of harvest. The wands are representing his harvest that he's bringing back to his house. But I also feel like with the 10 of Wands as well, it's almost like you're carrying too much. And some of it is yours, but some of it is other people's that like they're having you carry for them. And I just feel like this person is also going to help you carry the weight, I'm getting. So this is someone who's really going to meet you and be a real supportive partner for you. And I feel like that's definitely something that you need and have wanted and you haven't had in the past. Because to me, the devil can obviously is very selfish and it's all about them. So I feel like that could have been a karmic kind of pattern in your relationships. All right, Scorpios, let's close this out. I'm going to pull a Gaia Oracle for you with the last message for the year. What is your focus? What is any message? All right, so you got the Inner Sanctuary card, Zen Garden. And I'm going to read. So life is full of ups and downs, a constant ebb and flow between war and peace. Everything has a positive and a negative charge. Oops. Harmony and disharmony, order and chaos, clarity and confusion, calm and conflict are all partners. In our physical world, you cannot have one without the other. Yet, like all of us, you sometimes wish that things could change. Why can't we just live in peace? Well, the answer is that peace is possible, but you can only find it from within. The first step is to accept the world as it is. Just let things be. Trust that everything happens for a reason and that there is a higher purpose for all things. Now become aware of your breath. Let it guide you to a place of peace and light, a beautiful garden within the golden chamber of your heart. It is here within your inner sanctuary that you will find the peace you seek. Peace is only possible when there is peace within our hearts. When you are able to find peace even in the midst of chaos, then you are a true master. So yeah, this is just like I talked about before, this like your closing of your heart and opening. And it's finally this opening of your heart and finding what you've always wanted. And I feel like you're finally going to find some enlightenment or realize, oh my gosh, it's here, and you're going to feel it. You're finally going to feel all those things, and it's really going to open up for you. And that's when it expands, right? It expands to your external world. And that's where you align and attract peace and attract relationships that you've dreamt of and attract prosperity or wealth or whatever it is. So that's kind of the key message for you, Scorpios. So thank you for joining in. Let's head over to the extended and we'll dive in a little deeper. Definitely don't forget before you go, it really helps me if you like and subscribe. Join the Lyran Soul Tribe for 2026 and follow to continue to get some great guidance and support through the new year. Definitely going to be expanding more, having discussions with divine beings and guides and providing you the messages that you guys need to hear. And yeah, it's going to be a great year ahead. So stay connected. Let's move over. See you in a bit. Bye.